Out the scripture.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know if we're going to be able to, he says it, but this is Isaiah 66 and 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. So in the new heaven and new earth, our seed's going to remain. How is that? By procreation, number one. So
well, no, we can't have baby. Well, no, now you're trying to be logical.
See that? But that's debunk number one. But then it says in verse 23, the very next verse, and it shall come to pass in the new heaven and new earth. In the new heaven and new earth. And it shall come to pass in the new heaven and new earth.
What are you doing, brother? Like, what? Well, like, if the text don't say it don't read. You're reading the text. Why are you adding to the text while you're reading it? It don't say in the new heaven and the new earth. What? Why are you doing that?
That from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another.
That what?
New moon. Yeah.
Hold on. That what?
One new moon.
But watch it. Keep going.
And from one Sabbath to another.
Now watch this. So there has to be a moon. But he's saying the new heaven and new earth. There's no sun or moon. That's right. Yeah. Keep going though.
Shall all flesh.
Shall all what?
Flesh.
But I thought flesh can't enter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's done.
All three of his points. Right there.
Read it again. Let's break it down one more time, please.
Isaiah 66 and 22.
Oh, praise.
For as the new heavens and the new earth.
So he says in the new heaven and new earth, flesh and blood cannot inherit. He says in a new heaven and new earth, there will be no sun, there will be no moon, there will be no stars, there will be no temple. Right? But it says in the new heaven and new earth shall what?
I'm going to get to verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another.
That there will be a moon in the new heaven and new earth. Go ahead.
And from one Sabbath to another.
Which is determined by the moon. Go ahead.
Shall all flesh come to worship.
And there will be flesh, which he said cannot enter into the new heaven and new earth. All flesh got to still come. And where do they worship? At the temple, in which he also believes is not going to exist. He doesn't understand revelation. He doesn't the brother has lost his grip of understanding of scripture. That's what's happened. Very, 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 very clearly, y'all. Right? Yeah, the guy.
All right, y'all. We up here. You know, we doing tabernacles, so that's why I ain't, addressed the review videos. I don't even know why it even had to be a review. We laid our stance out, but evidently, brothers is finding scriptures, and this is one of those things. This is part 2. I've only watched like the first 10 minutes of it, but I just want to just show y'all, man, the problems with our brothers' interpretation of the text. They're inserting so much into these things. But first, I want to establish there will be no more. We see, okay, 21, a new heaven and a new earth. We see the new heaven. Yeah, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Brothers say that that's an allegory. Okay, but you'll have to break those things down. You say brothers say they have the videos. I ain't really looked for them yet, but I'm gonna see if I can search them out and find them out before I even address it. But we're looking here for, all right, the pure river of life. Here we go, with 22. It says, and there shall be, let me go up a little bit. Let's start at verse 3. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it. And his servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they shall need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. All right. So we see that there won't be no night in this new heaven and new earth. And I know that drives a lot of us crazy. I'm still trying to find the no moon. Here we go. We're still in chapter 21. We're going back to 21. And the city had no need of sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it. And so I don't understand how this needs a breakdown when it's sitting here and it's saying it. And the city had no need of a sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God lightened it. The glory of God lightened it. Okay.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
Keep going. And the nations of them which are saved, the nations of them which are what? Saved, shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth to bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in. The only people who can enter that city is those who are written in the book of life. Okay, the only ones is those that are written in the book of life. So did I make this up? Did I make this no moon? No. Hold on. Let me get the temple too. Let me get the temple too, because brothers are gonna speak on that. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. It's right there. Same spot. And I saw. Wait a minute. He said, and I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. So there is no temple because the Almighty and the Lamb are in it. So there's no priest, man. Why you got a priest and you ain't got no temple? All right. Why do you have priests and you ain't got no temple? So that whole dispensation has to belong somewhere else, where there is a temple, where the temple does get reestablished, and that's during the millennial reign of Christ. Now let's go back here to Isaiah 66. Okay. Where it was at 20? I think it was 20. All right, and let's go here. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord. They bringing in all your brethren. Now we just read nobody enters into that new heaven, new earth, except those written in the book of life. Everyone has been judged. All right, even those that are of the nations that have been saved, they walk through those gates. For an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon the horses and the chariots, and in litters, upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord. As the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel, and to the house of the Lord, into the house of the Lord, I will also take of them for priests. Now the people are bringing Israel for an offering, into a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. And I will take of them priests and Levites, saith the Lord. Now watch this. This is where they gonna get hung up at. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, meaning they haven't been made yet. All right, it haven't been made yet. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me. Okay, just like the new heaven and the new earth, which I will create, just like that's going to remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. Okay, so shall your seed, your children, and your name remain. And that ain't really necessarily, well, yeah. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Now he inserts that's talking about the new heaven and the new earth. You will hear him just say, in the new heaven and the new earth, it shall come to pass from one new moon to another. You don't have to say that, brother. You don't have to say that, because it's not saying, the text is not saying that. It says, for as the new heaven and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain, so shall Israel and its seed So shall Israel's name and its seed be remain. You know, comparing the name and the seed of Israel to the permanent kingdom that comes after the millennial reign. The millennial reign, if it's 1,000 years, how can it remain? All right, how can it be here forever if it has a time limit on it? All right. And y'all do, you know, from what I'm understanding, y'all do believe in the millennial reign. Okay, and it shall come to pass that one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses, all right, of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be in a horn unto all flesh. Now we read in the Revelations 21 that there won't be no crying, there won't be no sorrow. All tears will be wiped away. There will be no more death. There will be no more. So you can't place that into the new heaven and new earth. You can't place that into that eternal kingdom. You place that into the kingdom with Yahweh, the millennial reign. This is where all these things going to transpire, not in that new. This is going to happen before the new heaven and the new earth. He just said right here, which I will make. He hadn't created it yet. All right, you're still in that first heaven and earth. They still keeping the law. All right, Matthew 5:17, one jot, one tittle, until all things come to pass. If anybody take, hold on, let me get it, because I'm mutilating. I'm mutilating it. And y'all got to go back and just look and make sure you got an end time timeline. Let me see your end time timeline. I would love to see that. 5:18, it says, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Okay? Till all be fulfilled. One jot, one tittle, till heaven and earth pass. So when heaven and earth pass, let's go back to Revelations. When heaven and earth pass, in Revelations 21, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There is no law at this point. So you talking about folks is going into to have the new moon and the Sabbath and all that. All that's done. That's finished. Okay? And I ain't gonna say it, he gonna say it. And I, John, saw the holy city of Jerusalem coming down out of God, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. That ain't what I want. He that overcome, I want that it is done. Okay, verse 6. And he said unto me, it is done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. Okay, I will give it to him freely. What is the water of life? All right, what is that? Is this a stream is this a stream of the fountain of youth? Like, what is that? Okay, what's the breakdown? What's the breakdown? All right, if it's not really a water, of life freely, then what's the breakdown? You gonna do Ephesians 5:26? That's what we going to, washing them with the word. That's the word. And see, what happens is, brothers talk about people being illiterate, but what happens is, and this is the same thing that happened, I think that happened with one body, is that brothers, tried to break down everything spiritual. Christ walking on water. Brothers tried to say, well, the water is the word. And Christ was walking on the word. He was just obeying the word. And Peter came in, and then, so then it come down to Christ didn't do any miracles. Because we can't do no miracles. Okay? And this is what happens when you try to, place logic on everything. Man, he said he walked on water. He said he healed the blind man. He said he raised Lazarus from the dead. He raised Lazarus from the dead, brother. But brothers say, well, he raised him for the dead because, he brought him back to the commandments. He did Ezekiel 37, man. He brought him back. He made them dry bones live, man. He sprinkled them with the word, man. He washed them with the word. So Lazarus didn't really raise up from the dead. His body didn't really stink, Proverbs 21:16, who remaineth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. That's why he was stinking up. Come on, man. You can't put logic to that. So I just want to give y'all that real briefly, man, to show them that these brothers don't have no understanding on the dispensations and where to place these things. They are conflating both things together, and this is why their doctrine is very problematic. Like I say, we're going to go through these things one by one, each one of their points, man, and you're going to see each one of them are wrong, man. Each one of them are wrong, and it got to be something spiritual for brothers not to see this. That's plain, man. It's plain. Let me give you this last point, man. Let me give you this last point. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. We gonna come back to it, y'all. Just be on man. We out here doing tabernacles and may drop things here and there. I know we didn't do class Wednesday because everybody's pretty much out here. But you know, and this thing isn't to let me say this too, man. This thing isn't to try to make somebody look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to give back that same energy. I don't need to do the ad hominem attacks. I can care less. I could care less about the persecution, man. We got thick skin. And this is what brothers have to do. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to dig deep into this thing. I'm going to show y'all body language. I'm going to show y'all body language, things that they can't hide. Brothers really don't really agree with everything that's being said. It's just you can't say nothing. But I'm going to say it for you. Don't worry about it. Phoenix going to say it for you, brother. All right? Don't worry about it. Phoenix gonna say it for you and he gonna bring it out. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bring it out and show you brothers' body language and show you some of the tactics that they use to try to act like they're winning debates and dialogues. But my main goal was with that dialogue with those brothers is you know, just understanding Paul's not speaking to the northern kingdom. And then the objective is to let Israel sort and figure out, go through the text and figure out and make that thing harmonize from there. But understanding that Paul's not speaking to northern kingdom Israelites, you know, not that they all gone, but there is a remnant there, but he's mostly speaking to another set of people that we're considering Gentiles. It's not the northern kingdom. Go through the text. My job is for y'all to go through the text and figure it out. All right? And figure it out. Now, if you want to go their way, you go that way. You want to go and say it's North Southern Kingdom, hey, go say it's Southern Kingdom. If you want to say that it's Northern Kingdom, I mean, Gentiles, and say, you know, if it sounds better being Gentiles, it sounds better being Gentiles. I said, I ain't trying to tell nobody nothing. I'm trying to show you that you can't use these certain things. And if we're not using them, we're saying one thing, we looking like hypocrites out here saying one thing and then changing up, switching every which way. We got to sit down with that text, you know, and eventually, hopefully, you know, once I finish this compilation, man, we can all sit down. We can all sit down. Those who don't agree, that because majority of the camps are not going to agree with what me and Sacarii are saying about the northern kingdom not being who Paul talking to. Most of the camps are not going to agree with that. And so if we can just begin by sitting down and having that dialogue, then, you know, that's you know, my job done. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I just wanted to open up the dialogue on, you understanding that northern kingdom is not that. Now, I've navigated through that because a lot of things crumble once you realize that. A lot of things crumble when you realize he's not talking to the northern kingdom. And then I had to navigate my way back to make the text harmonize. All right, to make it harmonize with the prophecies of old and some of the things, the new revelations that was brought out in the New Testament. And so, you know, with that, man, we got to sit down, have these dialogues. Maybe we have them with all the elders, and we sit down and go through these things, and we can have that dialogue there. You know, we can have that dialogue there and just end there. And we can get them to see that, and then we step back, and then let them navigate it, let them figure it out. But with that, man, I say shalom, man. Hope this thing was edifying to the body. Again, man, it's gonna be very problematic with these videos these brothers just did. Let me show y'all this too, man, because I know y'all don't believe me. Y'all ain't gonna believe this either. Y'all ain't gonna believe Esau either. But let me just show you this. This is a study Bible. A lot of brothers have this too, this sword here. But let me just show you this. Shalaki, y'all. Let me just show y'all this right here. It's Isaiah 66, 17 through 24. The book ends with a fearful glimpse of of final judgment. The prophet foresees a time when those that escape the tribulation period will be sent unto the nations to declare God's glory among them. During the millennial kingdom, they will come to Jerusalem to worship him. All flesh refers to the redeemed of the Lord coming from all nations who will come to worship him. The book ends with an awesome statement that redeemed will go forth and look upon the carcasses. The redeemed will go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against him. Their suffering is described as being a place where their worm shall not die, neither their fire be quenched. And they give you a couple precepts there. But I just wanted to show you that, man. You know, even here, they're saying it's the millennial kingdom. This is understand here. And if you don't know where to place these things, you can't even have that dialogue. You can't even, if you don't have an end time timeline, if you can't show me, I gave them an end time timeline, but I haven't seen one from them yet. If you can't show me that, you can't really have these dialogues. Because you don't really understand. You're trying to place this in a place where there is no moon, there is no temple. How you gonna place that? How you gonna place we gonna have Levites and priests in a place that has no temple? Because the Lamb and God is the temple thereof. There is no moon, there is no sun. How you gonna place? They worship the moon and the sun on the new Sabbath and the new moon. You know, how you gonna have that there when they saying there is no law? Everything is past. Maybe we just read it in Matthew 5:18. These laws will be here to the new heaven and the new earth. How they still doing that, man? Come on now. They said, I will make which I will make for as the new heaven and the new earth, which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord. See, you don't. Oh, and in the millennial kingdom, in the new heaven and the new earth, we gonna be doing this, and it shall come to pass. See, why you sat there and said that and added that in there? And that's how they play these games. You got to be following along with these folks, because he sat there and lied on the text. That's just clear. He sat there and lied. It don't say nothing about no in the new heaven and the new earth nowhere in Isaiah 66. In the new heaven and it don't say that. It says just as. And it's just telling you about the eternity, that it won't pass. All right, everything's done at that point. Shalom.